session of Pranayam Techniques workshop. Also, welcome to the friends of Dr. Nitin Rohn from India and from US as well, who are already passionate practitioners of pranayama. And they are here also, and also other delegates who are attending from Karnataka and from India. All of them, welcome to all of you. Before starting the workshop, I would like to have a special request. All of you are aware of the untimely demise of General Bipin Rawat, the first ever Chief of Defence Staff of India, in a helicopter tragedy on Wednesday, 8th of December. He was an outstanding, honest, and exemplary personality liked by all. It is a shocking and unforgettable loss for India forever. Our heartfelt condolences to the family. May his soul rest in peace. On behalf of Kannada Balaga UK and Kannadigas in UK, I request all of us to observe 1 minute silence as a tribute to General Rawat.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you all. Now we start our event for today, the workshop, and the first part of this is going to be done by a person you already seen taught 2 events before, 2 sessions. He's done Dr. Prahlad Rohn. He is now going to continue into the 3rd session, and you already know all about him. I've told about him before. He's an eminent scientist and a yoga teacher with yoga and pranayama for the last 40 years, conducting all sessions like this. So I'm now going to hand you over to Dr. Prahlad Rohn. Dr. Prahlad Rohn, please, can you take over? Thank you.
Muted.
You are muted, Dr. Rohn.
Unmute.
Can you unmute yourself, Dr. Rohn? Prahlad Rohn. Prahladji, can you unmute yourself?
I will get someone to unmute it. 1 second.
Yeah.
Shall
we start now?
Yeah.
Thanks, Sneha, for the introduction you gave. I'm actually thankful to all the people present. In fact, this is the 3rd Sunday you are sacrificing for the learning of pranayam and meditation. And I am sure this sacrifice is not going to go waste. In the long run, it is going to make your life very worthy and worth living. Actually, today's session, I have been asked to do it for about 50 minutes. After that, it will be taken over by Nitin, who will lead us into a fascinating journey of meditative states. So I request you to kindly give me a reminder after 50 minutes so that I stop. As per the instructions of Dr. Sneha Kulkarni, she has asked me to revise all the practices which you have already done. For example, on the first Sunday, we did the Bhastrika Pranayams. Then on the next Sunday, we did the Kapalbhati Pranayams. So what I'm planning to do today is I'll revise all the practices of Bhastrika and all the practices of Kapalbhati. Then after that, I will introduce one new pranayam based on breath holding. So I think this is what I will do. First, we will revise the Bhastrika and Kapalbhati. Then one new practice of breath holding I will introduce. So in this practice session, you are going to practice with me. You go along with me. Whatever practices we have done before, I will start repeating and you will start doing along with me. See, as you know, we'll start with Bhastrika first. As you know, we have done 6 Bhastrikas. One is the abdominal Bhastrika, where you jog the abdomen in various directions. For example, you can jog the abdomen front and back direction. You can jog the abdomen up and down direction. You can jog the abdomen left and right. And you can rotate the abdomen clockwise, rotate anti-clockwise. So that is the abdominal jogging. What happens when you start jogging, at a high breath rate? Our normal breath rate is, for example, 15 per minute. Here, when we are jogging the stomach, we will be breathing at about 60 per minute. That means the amount of the air that is entering in the lungs is much more than our normal breathing. Our normal breathing, air enters into the lungs only 15 times per minute. But now, when I am doing abdominal Bhastrika, it is entering into the lungs 60 times per minute. That means there is a lot of oxygen richness in the blood. And that additional oxygen will now go only to the part which is jogging. For example, all that thing will go to all the organs in the abdominal cavity. All the organs in the abdominal cavity. So after abdominal, we'll do the jogging of the rib cage. Then we'll do the jogging of the clavicle. Then we'll do the jogging of the glottis, throat. Then we'll do the jogging of the mouth. Then we'll do the jogging at the nasal cavity with high breathing. So by doing this, we are energizing the entire part of the body with all its components like the muscles, the organs, the glands, nerves, brain, entire body system is getting energized. So we'll start doing Bhastrika at the abdominal level. So when the abdomen you pull in, you have to breathe out, push out, breathe in. Watch me like this. Please start doing with me. Start jogging the abdomen and you start breathing. So this is the front and back abdominal Bhastrika. Now we will do up and down Bhastrika. When you push the abdomen up, you have to breathe out. When you pull down, you have to breathe in. I will show it to you. Then you please kindly start doing. So this is the up and down jogging. Now we will do the left and right jogging. One way you have to breathe in, one way you have to breathe in. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Depending on your capacity, you can do it at either low speed or medium speed or high speed. Now we will do the jogging of the abdomen in the left and right direction. I can see Vinod doing. I'm not able to see other people doing because your pictures are half only. I hope you are all doing. Okay. So this is so we finished front and back Bhastrika. We finished up and down Bhastrika. We finished left and right Bhastrika. Now we'll do angular rotation. One rotation of the abdomen clockwise, one anti-clockwise. One side, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Like this. So these are all the 4 diversified versions of the Bhastrika. One is front and back, up and down, left and right, then rotational. So these are the diversified Bhastrikas. We are getting the energy of the kinetic energy of the muscle movement. Since we are synchronizing with the breath, we are getting the aerodynamic energy, but the thought energy, thought can wander any direction. I'm doing this, then thought can go on autopilot, So we are not getting the thought energy. To get the thought energy, we integrate all these 4 diversified versions. For example, we'll do 4 breaths front and back, 4 breaths up and down, 4 breaths left and right, 4 breaths rotational, all in sequence. Watch me now. This is an integrated Bhastrika version. Watch me now. I will do all 4 one round continuously, then another round. Watch me now. See what happens in this one, now you are engaging the mind on the action. For example, the mind will be all the time thinking what I am doing first. I'm jogging the abdomen front and back. Then what next? Then it will start thinking. So mind will get anchored to your body and the breath. So we are getting synergy between 3 energies. One is the kinetic energy. For example, the muscle movement of the abdomen. Then since we are synchronizing the breath, we are getting aerodynamic energy. Now the energy of the thought is also coming. So this is a tremendous energy synchronization, synergy of all these 3 energy. Now all that will go into abdominal cavity. So abdominal cavity will become very, very strong. All the organs, the muscles, for example, you have complicated muscles like longitudinal muscles, transverse muscle, oblique muscles, all of them you are training. Then all the organs, like for example, the stomach, the kidneys, liver, large intestine, small intestine, sexual organs, all of them are getting energized. And then the glands also. For example, we have what? Endocrine glands, like the pancreas, then the adrenal. Then we have what? A lymphatic organ like the spleen. So spleen. So entire, all of these things will get tremendously energized. So most of the health-related problems associated with the abdominal cavity, they all get resolved because of the high energy doing here. Now we'll go for this is the abdominal Bhastrika. Now we'll go for the intercostal Bhastrika. Here we are jogging the rib cage at high breathing rate. Now all that lot of energy will now only go to the rib cage. Watch me now. You will do with me. When the rib cage stretches, you have to breathe in. Rib cage contracts, you have to breathe in. So number of these things is intercostal Kapalbhati. Please start doing with me. You can do it on your own speed. This is the intercostal Bhastrika. Now all the energy is energy is not going to the abdominal organs, because now abdomen is not jogging. It is the rib cage that is jogging. So all this energy will go to the organs contained inside the rib cage. For example, the muscles and tissues between the ribs, then the ribs themselves, then the heart, the lungs, and the back muscles. Because when we are doing this one, back muscle is also stretching and contracting. Then the front muscle, they're all stretching and contracting. So all the organs inside the rib cage and other muscles and other organs, they will all get energized. For example, this will remove most of the middle backache problems, it will resolve. So this is the second Bhastrika, which is at the intercostal level. Then we'll come, now we have energized the abdominal cavity, we have energized the rib cage, now we'll energize the clavicle. So in this, there are three diverse versions, then one integrated version. The diverse versions are, I am doing with this one. When the left clavicle goes up, you have to breathe in. Left clavicle comes down, you have to breathe out. So number of these. Very nice. I'm able to see when you. Then the jogging of the right clavicle. Now jogging of both the clavicles together. So these are the three diverse versions of the clavicle Bhastrika. Now we'll do integrated version of these three Bhastrikas. That means we'll do 4 breaths with the left clavicle, 4 breaths with the right clavicle, 4 breaths with both the clavicles, and continuation of this. Watch me, then you join me. Yeah. Okay. So this is the integrated version. The different versions, when you combine into one in one round, then you are making it complicated for the mind. Mind cannot go on a joyride, It will be all the time thinking, are we doing 4 breaths? Are we doing? How many breaths I am doing with the left clavicle? Then how many I am doing with the right clavicle? Then is it? Then next both the clavicles are coming. Both the clavicles are coming. Then again left, again right. So all the time mind will be anchored. It cannot go on a joyride. If it goes on a joyride, then you cannot do this pranayama. So this is a wonderful. This is the integrated version pranayama. It gives tremendous energy, this particular pranayama, because now we are breathing at nearly 60 to 70 per minute when we are doing like this. So much ventilation in the lungs and so much oxygen richness. And all that now is going only to this region. It is going to this clavicle, then the shoulder blades, then it is going to all the muscles here, then all the joints of the hands and all that. So this portion is get energized. And this resolves many of the upper back problems, because when I am doing this, upper back is also stretching, contracting. And when we do this, upper part of the lungs, alveoli, the upper part of the lungs, they are all getting energized. When I am doing intercostal, middle part of the lungs is getting energized. When I am doing abdominal Bhastrika, the lower part of the lungs. So by doing these 3 Bhastrikas, the entire lungs get activated. Many times what happens, we don't use all the alveoli at the same time. Some people are using only the lower lungs more predominantly. Some people use the middle lungs. Some people upper. upper lungs. So those who don't use, dysfunction atrophy will start, and then they become the infection sites because then they start losing their function. So by doing abdominal Bhastrika, intercostal Bhastrika, clavicular Bhastrika, you are utilizing every part of the lung, every alveoli of the lung you are utilizing. So respiratory system becomes very strong. Then we will come to this glottis Bhastrika. In this, there are 5 diversified movements. One is up and down movement. Next one is left and right movement. Next one is ear to shoulder movement. Next one is jogging vertically. Then rotational Bhastrika. So these are the 5 diversified. There are 5 diversified Bhastrikas here and 1 integrated Bhastrika. That means you join all these 5 diversified things into 1 round. Then again second round, third round. So you are adding the mind energy. To the kinetic energy and the aerodynamic energy, you are adding mind energy when you do the integrated Bhastrika. So now we will do up and down Bhastrika. When the neck goes up, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. We will do that first. Diversified. No, we are not combining. We are doing only up and down for maybe 15 seconds or whatever. Please do. This is up and down Bhastrika. Then we will do left and right Bhastrika. So both ways. One side also you breathe in, another side also breathe in. What way? Then the next one is ear to shoulder. Next one is stretch and contracting of the neck. Next one is rotational. 1 clockwise, 1 anti-clockwise. So these are the 5 diversified Bhastrikas. Now we'll combine these 5 diversified into 1 integrated. That means I'll do 4 breaths with this one, then I'll do 4 breaths with this, then I'll do 4 breaths with this, I'll do 4 breaths up and down, I'll do 4 breaths rotational. This is a tremendous Bhastrika. I'll show you now. Then slowly. It requires a little bit of practice. Once you practice at home, then you will be able to get it. And once you get it, it's a wonderful thing, It is such a tremendous energization of the entire part. Now I'll show integrated version Bhastrika. Watch me. I'm doing each of them 4 breaths, but followed by one another. It requires tremendous focus mind, Unless the mind is focused to one particular thing, you will not be able to do this. Once you are able to do this, then our focused attention becomes very strong. You are slowly mastering the mind. Mastering of the mind happens when you start doing this integrated Bhastrika and also integrated Kapalbhati, which I'll show you afterwards. So now I'll do integrated glottis Bhastrika. Watch me. This is a tremendous, so much energizing, and the mind, so much. See, you will be able to all decision making and everything of the mind, because cognitive system gets improvement here. Our memory, because you have to immediately start remembering. After this, what? After that, what? After that, what? All that memory has to be totally at its disposal, Entire memory will get improved, cognition system will get improved, and decision making. Because I'm deciding, I'm doing this, then this. So it's a tremendous pranayama. And once we are doing this Gratis Bhastrika at this high breathing rate, there's a lot of rich blood. Oxygenation is so tremendous in the blood, And every organ which is located in this cavity get bathed by the blood. They get a blood bath, That means so much of energy goes into that part. And this part, in yoga, it's a great importance. It's called pharynx. Pharynx has a lot of density of the organs and functioning. For example, in the pharynx, we have got thyroid, parathyroid. We have got glottis, epiglottis. Then we have got vocal cord. Then we have got adenoid and tonsil. And then we have got the eustachic tubes. The middle ear gets connected in the pharynx level. So all these parts, tremendous coordinated functions in the pharynx, they all get improved by doing diversified Bhastrika at the glottis level. So you have to practice for some time this diversified thing, then slowly start integrating them. Once you get them integrated serially, then once you master this integrated Bhastrika at various, then you don't have to do the diversified things. Then I can do only integrated thing at the abdominal level, intercostal level, clavicular level, glottis. I can do combined of all those things. So in a shorter time, you will be able to achieve much greater results. So that does this. Then we'll come to mouth Bhastrika. So in the mouth Bhastrika, you are going to breathe in, breathe out by the mouth. There are 3 versions, 3 diversified versions in this. Then we have to integrate it by combining these 3 diverse. One is the Sitali Bhastrika. That means you have to clench the teeth, touch the tip of the tongue at the teeth, then you start breathing in, breathe out. Start doing. This is the first Bhastrika version at the mouth level. Then the second one is Sitkari version. That is, you have to slightly project the tongue out of the lips and then go on breathing in and out, breathing in and out. Then you have to push the tongue out, then Simha Mudra Bhastrika with the mouth. So once we master these 3 things, then we can integrate 3 into 1 round. That is like this: 4 breaths with Sitali, 4 with the Sitkare, 4 with the Simha. Watch me now. I messed it up. So once you combine this, then it's a tremendous coordination, So once you learn to integrate all these 3 versions, then we don't have to do those individual versions. This alone will be in the final, we can adopt only this type of. So now we'll come to Nasal Bhastrika. Nasal Bhastrika. Nasal Bhastrika is, again, there are 3 diversified versions, and we'll integrate those 3 into 1. Okay. Diversified will be, one is the Chandra Bhastrika. That means you are closing the right nostril and breathing in, breathing out with the left nostril. can do. You should always keep a hanky by your side, because many times the mucus that is accumulated in the nasal cavity, it comes out. Then we can do Surya Bhastrika. That is, you have to close the left nostril and breathe in, breathe out with the right nostril. This is the second diversified version of the Bhastrika. Then the third one is both the nostrils open. If any of the nostril is blocked, please don't try to force this. It could cause a lot of damage to your rest of the system. So only when the nostrils are free, you can do these. No, both nostrils. So these are the three diversified Bhastrikas. Now we'll make an integrated 3-in-1. All the three. First 4 breaths with the left, 4 breaths with the right, and 4 breaths with both. Then again you go back to 4 breaths with the left, 4 with both, 4 with the right, and 4 with both. Watch me now. So this is the integrated version of the tunnel. It's called tunnel Bhastrika or the nasal channel Bhastrika. In this Bhastrika, this is a very important Bhastrika. It resolves many problems of sinusitis and migraine. In our workshop, we had a lot of cases, because the ostia, all the sinuses are connected to the nasal channel through an opening called ostia. Many times, when this ostia gets blocked with the mucus, then the air which is ventilating in the nasal channel, it does not communicate with the sinus cavities. Once that happens, sinus cavities will become the victims of infection. But once you are doing the high velocity of the air which is going here, it will take away, drain the mucus from the ostia. Then all the sinuses will get ventilated. So this is a very, very powerful pranayam. And this also helps the middle ear problems. Middle ear, if there are problems with the middle ear, because you are the static tubes, they are continuously energized and getting energized into this one. And all the organs and glands in the pharynx will get energized. So these are all the Bhastrika which we did on the first Sunday. We revised now. Now we'll go for the Kapalbhati. We'll just revise the Kapalbhatis. Again, there are 4 diversified Bhastrikas at the abdominal level. Bhastrika is only exhalation, exhalation, exhalation. There is no oxygen richness in this one. Since you are exhaling, continuously exhaling, and we are exhaling 60 times per minute. Normally, we exhale only 15 times per minute. So once you are starting exhaling 60 times per minute, you are removing so much amount of the carbon dioxide, you are offloading a lot of carbon dioxide accumulated in your body. And that brings the carbon dioxide level in the blood goes down. Once the carbon dioxide level in the blood goes down, a lot of medical studies, recently literature is full of the importance of this exhalation. Once the carbon dioxide level in the blood goes down, then the lactic acid and uric acid, excessive lactic acid and uric acid, which are the major cause of most of our health disorders, they get decomposed and they remove. So what Kapalbhati does is, it is cleansing and detoxification, not energization. So once we do a combination of Bhastrika and Kapalbhati, there is energization and there is detoxification. And these two are the major causes for most of our health disorders. So now, just like Bhastrika, now we will do Kapalbhati all over the body. For example, now I will do four diversified Kapalbhatis at the abdominal level. When I pull the abdomen in, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. Then when I make it left, right, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. So now we'll do backstroking Kapalbhati. Watch me. Abdominal, backstroking abdominal Kapalbhati. Watch me. You are jogging the abdomen on unidirection. I'm only breathing out now. Breathing in is passive. This is one diversified version of the abdominal Kapalbhati. No, up Kapalbhati. You stroke the abdomen upwards, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. Then we'll do left and right. We jog bi-directional jogging. Both ways, you one way breathe out, another way breathe out. Continuously breathing out. Then rotational Kapalbhati. Clockwise rotation, you breathe out. Anti-clockwise rotation, breathe out. You go on rotating the stomach in both the direction, breathe out. Watch me. This is a little difficult one. You have to practice. Once you start practicing, everything becomes easy, Then you start getting control over the abdomen. Once you start getting control over the abdomen, then all these abdominal Bhastrika, Kapalbhati, they become so easy to do, So these are the four diversified Kapalbhatis at the abdominal level. Now I will do integrated Kapalbhati at the abdominal level. That means I will do 4 breaths with backstroking, 4 breaths with upstroking, 4 breaths with left and right stroking, 4 breaths with rotational thing. All in one sequence. Now, how it has become very complicated now. So mind, now it's a challenge for the mind, Mind has to remember now. That too you are doing only for 4 breaths. So it will remember now 4 breaths, first I am doing this one, then 4 breaths I am doing this one. So the mind will be totally anchored, it cannot take the joyride. And tremendous energy of the mind, thought is a tremendous of energy. Just like breathing itself is energy, kinetic, muscle is also muscle movement, kinetic energy, aerodynamic energy, thought energy is also very powerful. Once you combine all this energy, and that focused energy is now going to abdominal thing. So every function that happens in the abdominal cavity, that get improved. So learning is very, very important. So you'll have to practice a little bit. And once you get integrated Kapalbhati in various regions of the body, that is the end of it. It takes care of everything, All the hormonal balance will start happening, and all the energization, purification, and nerve control of the nerves, parasympathetic, sympathetic, everything will come under the control of the abdominal. Because 70% information in the vagus nerve is from the abdominal cavity. Diaphragm, it is connected to the diaphragm, Once the diaphragm is very healthy and active, then vagus nerve will be very, very active. And it is a vagus nerve which controls our parasympathetic nervous system. Now I'll show you integrated Kapalbhati at the abdominal level. Watch me now. You have to first program in the mind what exactly you are doing. Then mind has to follow that program. So this is the diversified Bhastrika at the abdominal level. Then intercostal level, there is only one. That is, you have to, when the rib cage strokes down, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. Yes. Then Kapalbhati, clavicular Kapalbhati. So diversified functions are when the clavicle is stroking down, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. Then this clavicle, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. Then both clavicles. These are the three diversified Kapalbhatis at the clavicle level. After doing this one for maybe half a minute or so, then you come to the right clavicle. Then you do both the clavicle, and both the clavicles are going down. You breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. These are the three diverse Kapalbhatis, diversified Kapalbhatis at the clavicle. Now you can do integrate. You integrate all these three into one round. That means 4 breaths with the left clavicle, immediately followed by 4 Kapalbhati with the right, followed by 4 Kapalbhati with the blue. This will cognition function will improve like anything. Your memory, Alzheimer's and all those things. If you are starting right from the beginning, then your memory will improve tremendously. All these pranayams, integrated Bhastrika, integrated Kapalbhati are the most powerful techniques to improve our memory, decision making, cognition function, because we are making so complicated challenge to the mind. It takes some time, but once you do this, then you become we are no more slaves of the mind. We become the masters of the mind. So now the integrated Kapalbhati, don't get disappointed. Immediately you may not. If you don't get immediately, please don't get disappointed. It requires a lot of practice. I've been practicing for 40 years. So it requires at least 2-3 weeks if you practice the diversified things, and then try doing integrated thing. Then slowly, your focus starts increasing. Your focused attention, memory, everything will start improving. The very fact that cognition function is improving can be judged whether you are doing it correctly. If you are doing this correctly, that means your memory is good, your cognition system is good, decision, everything is good. That sort of thing. So now I will do integrated version for the clavicular Kapalbhati. I will do 4 breaths here, 4 breaths here, followed by 4 breaths here. Again 4 breaths, 4 breaths. So multiple rounds of this. Wonderful. I can see many of you are doing very well, very well. So this is the integrated version of this one. Now, is this? I don't want to take away Nitin's time, because it's he is taking us to a fascinating journey of meditation. So how much time I have got now?
You got Prahladji, you got 10 minutes.
13 minutes. Okay, fine. Then I can complete. Otherwise I was thinking. So now we'll do diversified Kapalbhatis at the throat level, at the glottis. So here, when the neck is stroking down, breathe out. Neck is stroking down, breathe out. Then this way, breathe out. Then this way, breathe out. Then up and down, breathe out. Then rotational breathe. So there are 5 diversified Kapalbhatis here. Now we'll do down stroking Kapalbhati. That means when the neck is coming down, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. What? Please start with. This is the downstroking Kapalbhati, diversified version. Then another diversified version of Kapalbhati is left this way, sideways. This way also breathe out, this way also breathe out. Please do. Then ear to shoulder. This way also you breathe out, this way also breathe out. Watch me. Then up and down. This is the difficult one again. But this is so, once you, it requires a little bit more practice. You have to stretch the neck, breathe out. Then another stretch, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. This is the only technique, which helps to solve our cervical problem. Cervical muscles become very strong because those set of the muscles, which connect the skull, lower part of the skull to the this sternum and vertebral column and all those set of muscles, you are strengthening. Once you are strengthening, then our head becomes very sturdy. Otherwise, if those muscles lose function, then if you are like this, you are all the time like this, you will not be able to even move the head. So this keeps the upper back problems and the various functions in the pharynx cavity. Purification and detoxification happens at this level. So now I'll do integrated version of the glottis kapal. That means I'll do 4 breaths here, 4 breaths here, 4 breaths here, 4 breaths here, 4 breaths rotation. Watch me now. So this is the integrated. Once you do this, then you don't have to do those half after. See, most of the, Dr. Sneha was asking me what should be the beginner's program in the beginning and all that. So all these diversified things you can do for half a minute. If you just count down, we have about 20 diversified Bhastrikas all over the body. 5 at the abdominal level, 1 here, 3 here. If you count all that, I just did some arithmetic today morning, So there are 20 diversified Bhastrikas, 20 diversified Kapalbhatis. If you can do each of them for half a minute, then you will need 10 minutes for the Bhastrika, 10 minutes for the Bhastrika, 10 minutes for the Kapalbhati. To do all this 20 diversified Bhastrika and Kapalbhati. So devoting 20 minutes every day. And then integrated one you can do for 1 minute each. So that there are 6 basic integrated things. So it comes to 26 minutes you will be able to do the entire Bhastrika, Kapalbhati, both diversified and integrated versions. Okay. So then we finished this. This purifies, detoxifies all the regions in the pharynx. It detoxifies. Thereby, it improves the functioning of the various organs and glands and things like that. Then we'll do this Mouth Kapalbhati. We'll do 3 diversified Kapalbhatis. That means, can you do? It's only breathing out, breathing out, breathing out. You can do this half a minute at home now. Then you can do half a minute of Chitkari Kapalbhati. Then you can do half a minute of Simha Mudra Kapalbhati. Then these three diversified, you can combine into one integrated. 4 breaths with the Sitali version, 4 breaths with Sitkari version, 4 breaths with Simha Mudra version. So that will complete this. I will, since I will know be very short of time, I will, we can integrate at home and see. Then the last one will be this nasal Kapalbhati. So there are 3 diversified Kapalbhatis at the nasal level. One is breathing of Chandra Kapalbhati. That means breathe out, breathe out, breathe out only with the left channel. For that, you have to close the right nostril and then breathe out. Please do. If you are comfortable, you can do for half a minute. In the beginning, if you are not comfortable with any of this, you can do for 15 seconds. You can do. Slowly, slowly, as your respiratory system, then your muscular system, they slowly start getting trained, then you will be able to do for longer time. Depending upon, you are your own judge. You know. If you feel fatigued, tired and all that, do for half a minute, don't do for half a minute. Do it for 15 seconds. Once you are comfortable at 15 seconds, then you can slowly go to higher. And then you will train your entire system. You know. So one is this Chandra Kapalbhati, second is Surya Kapalbhati, then both nostril Kapalbhati. Third one is this way. Then these are the 3 diversified Kapalbhatis we are talking about. Now we can integrate these 3. You are now giving a challenging problem to the mind. This diversified thing is not a challenge to the mind. All this breathing we are doing with the consciously we are doing. But once it is simple, then the subconscious will take over. Then conscious mind will go on thinking of the past, future. It doesn't help much. But once you give a challenging problem to the mind, you know, then it will get anchored to your own body and your own respiration and all that. Then your this thing becomes focused attention and all the cognitive functions will improve. You know? So now the integrated Kapalbhati of the tunnel Bhastrika, you will be 4 breaths, 4 exhalations here, 4 exhalations here, 4 exhalations with both in a sequence. Watch me now. Once you master these things, then our everyday, whatever work we do, you know, that is why Bhagavad Gita, it says, you know, this yoga karmasu kaushalam. Once you are doing all this, pranayama is the most important part in yoga. Once you are doing this pranayama and meditation and things like that, you know, then, you know, whatever work you do will be a perfect work. That is yoga karmasu kaushalam. Whatever work you do will be a good work. It's because you are having focused mind and cognition. Your whole being is involved in one activity. So that is the importance of this.
Yeah.
So I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I will not be able to do the that breath holding I wanted to do, but I will do it in the next session.
Yeah.
So today I will complete. And
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Prahladji. Appreciate all the effort and all that knowledge you're going to be transferring to us. I'm going to now hand it over to Dr. Sneha Kulkarni. Please unmute yourself. Okay. Dr. Sneha Kulkarni.
Hello again. I'm sure all of us have been energized and cleansed up physically and partly mentally by Prahladji. Thank you, Pralaji. Thank you very much. Now, we're going to try and learn how we can mentally do something meditation-like. And for that, we have got an eminent person who has been doing meditation and science for a long, long time. And that is Dr. Nitin Rohn, who is also happens to be Pralaj's son. And they have both been doing these yoga sessions for a long time, over the years. Dr. Nitin Rohn, he is medical person. He is a pediatrician and neonatologist in practicing in America over a long time. He's also I think that he's got so many degrees and so many acclamations that it'll take me more than 2 hours to describe all that. But his main thing is interest in meditation and how do you combine meditation and science and health. And that is, for that, he has led research projects in Himalayas, including Mount Everest region, with involving ultrasound of eye and body movements to predict mountain sickness. He has also done research which includes meditation, pranayama in acclimatization of body to high altitudes. He's used meditation in a lot of his medical practice for children and babies. So I think a lot of his, he has been invited to speak at National Institute of Health in Maryland, as well as several national and international conferences. He's had talks, interviews have been featured on numerous TV channels and podcasts. He has also, he's at the moment, he's a neurologist and he's a assistant professor of pediatrics and assistant director of neonatal intensive care unit in New York, Brooklyn. He did fellowship from Brown University, Rhode Island, in neonatal neuroscience. He's chairman of Physicians Health Committee. He has led several workshops and panels on this topic in New York City Open Center, New Jersey, and internationally. He has co-authored a book with his father, Dr. Prahlad Rohn, titled Pranayama and Breathing Techniques for Health, Healing, and Tranquility, published by Spavian Publishing. So let us now cleanse and energize our minds by Dr. Nitish Rohn. Nitish, over to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much for the very kind introduction. I don't deserve half of what you said. And always my dad's act is very difficult to follow. So I will give my little 0.005% contribution to this. And yeah, thank you for this opportunity. It's always so wonderful to be here in this lovely group. And again, Sneha, thank you for welcoming my friend, Santi. I'm very excited that apart from those people who are watching my dad's video, a lot of my friends are here as well. Some of them from the film industry. I'm seeing people from the music industry out here, as well as my colleagues, some of my childhood friends who I see right now out there, as well as my hospital colleagues. So this is so exciting and so super cool. So if nothing else, and my Mount Kailash group, which came to the Himalayas with me, so I am seeing them too. So this is so incredible. If nothing else, this is a beautiful way to get together and at least combine together. And I see one person from my Hare Krishna group as well. So this is really, really super cool. But thank you so much, guys. And Neil is out here. You can see him. He is the technical person, and I'm going to see you. And you can let me know if we are good with the screen here, and I will start talking. So
yeah, we are good. We are good.
Yes, yeah, wonderful. All right. So Meditation, this is what I'm going to be talking about, and I promise that everything that I will say will be 100% scientifically validated. Why do we really need this? Life is becoming tougher and tougher because we have given ourselves 1000 tasks to finish during the day, and we are so discombobulated. We have lost sight of time, we have lost sight of space, and here we are trying to do so many things and we are losing our peace of mind. I volunteer as an art guide at the Rubin Museum of Himalayan Art in Chelsea in Manhattan. It's a city museum, and there's a beautiful painting there which shows the whole mind disintegrated into 1000 pieces. The painting is called Pathway to Enlightenment, and this is exactly what is happening. We are not succeeding in being present in this beautiful moment. Life really is very beautiful, and we are trying to be in different places at different times, and we are losing the perspective. Not only applying to everybody else, but even to the physician population. We have so much of burnout, even in the world of medicine. I can speak for myself, I can speak for my colleagues. So this is definitely not easy, especially what we went through last year in the pandemic. It was horrendous. I mean, my dad and mom were home with me in New York at that time. They are currently in India. They were stuck with me. They couldn't go back. They saw how much suffering was happening. I used to come home and cry every day because I used to see so many deaths due to the pandemic. In the daytime I was there. There were times I was working 72 straight hours, coming home and crashing, and I was isolated away from my mother and father. They were in the same home as me. I was sitting at a separate chair. I had my own pathway going. So this is not easy. So what is not making it easier is all of this remote communication through the Zoom meetings, through everything. It has the advantage, of course. I mean, like right now, I'm together with all of you only because of Zoom. There's no way I could fly to the UK and then fly to India to do this talk. So it has definitely its advantages. But at the same time, we are losing what is called the human connection, the human moment, with so much of electronic stuff happening. So this is adding to the feeling of utter discombobulation that we are facing. So definitely we need something to ground us, to make us present in this beautiful moment. And this actually made me think and to start a project which is called the Mindfulness and the Meditation Project for Prevention of Burnout, which is as applicable to everybody in the general population, not just to doctors. And the cool thing is that we actually started this at the hospital I work in. We are affiliated with the Cornell and Columbia system, the New York Presbyterian system. And what we actually did is start this little mindfulness sessions. I will go into this a little bit more detail, but I definitely want to build a bit of context for this, because there is definitely a story behind why I got involved and interested in meditation. Of course, my main influence is my dad, because he has been deep into mindfulness meditation for over 5 decades. He is an atomic scientist, and he has been deep into all of this. Which doesn't mean that I was like this great meditator since I was a teenager. I was quite naughty and rambunctious and at times very shy. So I was surrounded by all these books on yoga and meditation as I was growing up. But I promise you, I didn't read almost any of these. So having said that, I feel that the energy and the atmosphere that you are brought up around sometimes makes a difference. So hopefully, at least the positivity that he has percolated a little bit into my thinking, and this got me interested in a journey of meditation. Of course, the other big influence is my mom, who is quiet, who doesn't talk, who didn't come out onto this video, but she is in Bombay. She's probably in the other room at the house, and where my dad, you can see my dad sitting right now. So mom is probably behind. She's the quiet and stable and steady influence. She's not a talker like me, but she is very effective in her silence. So what you're seeing out here is Mount Everest. She is the highest mountain in the world, and she is called Chomolungma, Mother Goddess of the Earth in Tibetan. I have been lucky enough to go up on Mount Everest, and a lot of my meditation journey started with my journey to the Himalayas. I was doing a remote journey. This is the Indian Himalaya. It's called the Pin Parvati Pass, which is at about at its highest about 17,500 to 18,000 feet. So this is what got me interested in meditation. Is I was doing this remote journey in this mountain here, sub-zero freezing temperatures with like 8 layers of clothes on, and I was still shivering. And I see this group of monks, about 8 or 10 of them, just singing, dancing, chatting, walking along this route here that you're seeing. No clothes except for a loincloth, no shoes, no slippers, no sandals, nothing. And I am looking, I'm thinking, oh, okay, I am a medical doctor. This is absolutely not making a lot of sense. So I stopped them. I checked all their physiological parameters, and everything was perfectly fine. So this got me interested in thinking, wow, this is not just like some theoretical thing that you read in books. Oh, there were people meditating up in the high mountains. This is real life. Here I am, a doctor, shivering in -30 to -40 temperatures. And they are called sadhus, the enlightened people, so to say. They are walking barefoot on this ice for 14 days. Just with the sheer power of meditation. So that got my mind thinking, aha, so let me try and figure out what the science is behind this, because this wouldn't happen if it were just, so to say, spirituality. So there has to be solid science. So meditation is a journey that I started on many years ago, and it has been very helpful to me. This is the neonatal intensive care unit that I work in. The person across is my nurse, and she was kind enough to come into this picture, and we are examining a tiny little baby here. As a neonatologist, I see life and death every day in the newborn intensive care unit. Right now I see a couple of my nurses and a couple of my colleagues online here in this talk as well, and they will attest to the fact that you need to be calm, you need to be cool when you are faced with a baby with no heart rate and not breathing. And this is where definitely the meditation helps, because if you're not calm, if you're not cool, then your mind takes over in the panic mode and you will not be able to be effective. So I definitely have found meditation tremendously helpful in my day-to-day life, in my day-to-day work that I do. And this is me climbing the mountains. I've had about 19 visits. Last year was the 20th time that I went into the Himalayas, the year before last. And this is me in my climbing clothes. My friend's son was looking at this and he started shouting, "Donald Duck, Donald Duck." I do lose my face out here in this picture, but you can see I'm in the mask, I'm in all of the layers of clothes that I am climbing in. It was terrifying to climb Everest. Oh, believe me, these are the crevasses that you have to cross, and it's a wobbly aluminum ladder that you put across the crevasse. You take a deep breath, you're wearing mountaineering boots, and if you see, there are tiny spikes on this boot. These are called crampons. So you are not even touching the ground. I guess I'm not terribly tall, so this actually is one of the few times in the world that I feel tall, because I'm elevated at least 6 inches with my mountaineering boots. Pretty cool. But then you are walking across this wobbly aluminum ladder in -100 degrees Celsius, not Fahrenheit, so -100 Celsius with a wind chill. Top of Mount Everest is 1.5 times colder than Antarctica. And then you're supposed to go into this wobbly ladder and cross the crevasse. And if you slip and fall, it is a straight 2,000-foot drop down into the bowels of the mountain. So the Sherpas, who are the people of the Himalayas, they can be very brutal and direct. So I spoke to my Sherpa and I asked, oh my God, what if I fall down here? When I was crossing my first crevasse, my heart was pounding. I was scared. And they looked at me and says, yes, doctor, you're absolutely right. Just yesterday, one person fell in the crevasse and died. And okay, that didn't help me. As I said, the Sherpas are brutally honest people. And if you're expecting some emotional balm, you're not going to get it from a Sherpa, which is the beauty of the people of the mountains. So what I did was I had to take a deep breath, and what came to my rescue at this time was Star Wars Episode 3. It's called Empire Strikes Back. This is where the spaceship is sunk in the water and Luke Skywalker is trying to get the spaceship up, and the Yoda is next to him, and Luke is not succeeding. And then the Yoda tells Luke, Luke, you do or you do not. There is no try. So the Yoda was my meditation guru. I took a deep breath, went into a meditation state for about 10 seconds, and then finally succeeded in crossing the crevasse. My mom was totally horrified at this picture, and she has disallowed me from climbing Everest again. And as a good Indian son, I am going to listen to my mom. So for the next few years, no more Mount Everest journeys. But this is just to tell you that meditation is not something which is very theoretical. It definitely helps in day-to-day life, and it definitely helps in anything that you're doing, whether it be something routine or whether it is something which is out of the box. One of the things that meditation does, which actually helps us to overcome our anxiety, is that it prevents the amygdala hijack. So the amygdala is the primitive part of the brain. So this is the part of the brain which is the fight or flight response. So when you're in a state of tension, state of stress, the amygdala entirely takes over. And so we stop rational thinking, because the prefrontal cortex, this part of the brain, is the one which thinks rationally. And once the amygdala takes over, we see things only in black or white. So there is only the fight or flight response. The interesting thing is that you can overcome this. And this is where meditation helps, because there are two stages. It's a two-step process to prevent the amygdala hijack. And the first step is to, number one, understand that your amygdala is being hijacked. And therefore, number two, to disengage from the amygdala. And both of these steps are possible only through the regular practice of meditation. The other thing which is interesting, yes, we say that we have to be loving, we have to be compassionate, but you know, the super cool thing is that there is a solid science to it. So this is in New York a few years ago. The person to the left is the chairman of pediatrics and my good friend. His name is Dr. Narula. So him and myself went to meet this person over here. The person sitting right now, there are two bald people, him and me. So the other bald person is, his name is Matthew Ricard, who has now also grown to be a good acquaintance of mine. He was principal secretary to His Holiness the Dalai Lama. He was a scientist at the Pasteur Institute, and he is known to be, or reputed to be, the happiest man alive. And it's very, very interesting. He's a very, very enlightened monk, and he has been the subject of many functional MRI scans, of many experiments. These experiments have been run by the University of Wisconsin at Madison, at Harvard, as well as UC Berkeley. And what is very interesting is that one of the most powerful energy that we can have is the energy of love and compassion. Not only does it make us stronger, not only does it make us more productive if you are loving, but it actually radiates out to the people around you without your even saying anything, even through silence. This phenomenon in neuroscience is called neural Wi-Fi, and it actually really exists. So if you are loving, if you are compassionate, And love also needs to begin with self-love and self-compassion. If you are loving and compassionate, automatically the people around you start changing. And this is something very, very wonderful. Even without the arrogant expectation that, oh, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to change, I'm going to convert somebody into the message of love. There is no need for that. All you need to do is find your own path in life, find your own love, find where the compassion rests in your heart, and this is an automatic neural Wi-Fi transmission to the people around you. And this is solid science, which is what makes it so wonderful and exciting to me. And now more and more people are actually beginning to realize the importance of love, compassion, and meditation. This is the Rolling Stone magazine, and they did speak to me and featured a couple of my quotes out here on pranayam and meditation. I hardly, it came out of the blue. It was super cool, I guess, to be featured in a magazine which John Lennon was the first person, and then we have Eric Clapton and all their wonderful musicians. I play the flute, but I am nowhere near the caliber of obviously these people. But they wanted to go on to mindfulness and compassion, and it was so much more beautiful that even a popular magazine like this was able to feature meditation, love, compassion, and pranayam, of which of course my dad is the guru, and I'm like nowhere in the practice of it. But just to let you know that the science of meditation is really spreading very fast, and people are getting more and more understanding about doing it and practicing it. And now this research is just a few months old. So this is what I'm going to share with you also. It is very exciting, very, very cool research on the brain and on neuroplasticity. Because until now, we were thinking that the brain can be fairly rigid in its thinking. So we have all our established pathways inside the brain. We are born with love and compassion. But then what happens is that as we go through life, we start getting conditioned, and the stress starts taking over, and it starts reflecting itself into us as who we are and into our interaction with people around. I mean, look at a baby. A baby is totally unconditioned. If I feel that I am having a really bad day, all I have to do is go into the neonatal intensive care unit, raise the incubator window, watch my little baby, and even if the little baby is having a breathing tube, having like 3 or 4 IVs running through them, 4 or 5 weeks of age, this little baby starts smiling. This beautiful, blissful smile lights up his or her face. And this is because they are so unconditioned. So our unconditioned state really is that of joy and compassion. That is the baseline that the human being is born with. But then our conditioning comes over, our stress comes. We need to interact in this world. So then our stress pathways start activating and start stressing us out. So unfortunately, these pathways start becoming predominant. But then recently, there is very, very powerful research on neuroplasticity, which tells us that it is very easy. It's really not at all difficult to go back to the original pathways that we had. This pathway is that of love and compassion. People have started calling it the bliss pathway or the enlightenment pathway. And now we know that it is actually fairly easy for the nerve cells, for the neurons to reconfigure themselves and create these new pathways, these happiness and enlightenment pathways. But now I am going to share with you something which makes this even more interesting. People think, oh my God, this new pathway, how long is it going to take to formulate itself? It might take months, it might take years. So how the heck am I going to sit there meditating for like whatever time in the morning? It might be years before I achieve any sort of happiness. But no, okay, this is where it becomes incredibly fascinating. This is research only in the last few months. Okay, this is why it's so fantastic. What they did was they made people meditate 12 minutes, just 12 minutes of meditation. If you could do it every day, that is fine. Otherwise, even just 3 times a week. 12 minutes of meditation, 3 times a week, and within 4 to 6 weeks, the pathway started remodeling. 4 to 6 weeks of 12 minutes. I mean, how incredible is that? This is the beauty of meditation, I think, is the change starts very fast. This is unlike going to the gym to do push-ups. I've been trying to do that. I've been trying to build my muscles. See, I've been doing push-ups almost now for the last 3 months. Nothing much is happening. I went to my NICU neonatal ICU secretary. Her name is Jana, and I told her, Jana, I've been doing push-ups now for 3 months. Check this out. Check my deltoid. She goes like this. Dr. Ron, there's nothing here. So unfortunately, the gym, the actual physical exercise, that takes time and dedication, and that has its place. But the beauty of meditation is that the bang for your buck is right at the beginning. You start meditating and boom, 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 the changes start happening. In 48 to 72 hours after you start, and just 12 minutes meditation a day, right? You will start noticing changes in yourself. So this is the most recent research. This remodeling of the brain is almost instantaneous, and this remodeling happens both at a neurotransmitter level as well as an actual physical neuronal communication level. So it's neurohumoral. So everything is involved, as well as the general hormones in the body, the dopamine, the serotonin, everything. And this is so incredible. And meditation can be through different ways. You can do, of course, chanting meditation, as so many groups out there, they do mental focus through chanting. So many religions, so many denominations. So that definitely helps. You can just do silent meditation. But sometimes I come home and I've had a busy day in the intensive care unit, and I sit there trying to do silent meditation. Nothing works. My mind is racing. So then the guided meditation helps in this case. So there are many ways. It's all different rivers flowing into the same ocean. So what happens is that all these kinds of meditation will definitely be effective. But the interesting thing also is, one of my friends, she and I went to the Himalayas many years ago, and there is a wonderful Swamiji at the Shivananda ashram. His name is Swami Chitswarupanand. So she asked him, she said, Swamiji, can work not be your meditation? I love work. I have, one of my friends, Jonathan, who is a film director, is online over here. One of my friends, PJ, who is a musician, is online, as well as many of us in medicine, including Dr. Vivek Javli, and my friends are online. So can our work, can our passion be our meditation? The answer is yes. But he gave a very beautiful example. He asked her, how do you make yogurt? She's born and brought up in America. She said, well, you get it from the supermarket. Well, then the Swamiji said, yes, but that's not my point. So to make yogurt, you have milk, and then you put a bit of yogurt in milk, and then you have to be still for 8 to 10 hours without shaking the container for the milk to become the yogurt. So similarly, yes, the mind needs its stillness also. It needs actual formal meditation. You can always say, my work is my meditation. My music is my meditation. My passion is my meditation. Yes, my art is my meditation. That's beautiful as an add-on, but you definitely need these beautiful formal moments where you actually sit down at a place and meditate. And I was at the New York City Marathon a few weeks ago. This year I did not run the marathon. I've done a bunch of half marathons, the Brooklyn Hot Chocolate Half and the others. This year I decided to attend and cheer the people who were running. And look at this person on the left. I mean, he lost both of his legs in the Boston bombing during that marathon a few years ago. He put on these blades and he is running, and he was keeping up speed with the other runners. This is the brain remodeling itself. So you can achieve unbelievable physical things, unbelievable mental things just through neuronal remodeling and through just practice. So look at him, and look up there. You see this lady? She lost her limbs as well in an accident, and she lost part of the upper limb function and both the lower limbs. She is on this wheelchair and she is running and competing with the marathon runners. I mean, how incredible is that? If nothing else, for me, just going out there and cheering these unbelievable people, half the time I had tears in my eyes just looking at them and thinking, oh my God, you know, we feel that we have problems. Look at them. They have just overcome everything just by their sheer willpower, just by their sheer determination. This is what the neuronal remodeling is about. So it really is a very practical thing. So this is something very real. This is something which is a day-to-day life thing, not something which is theoretical that you read books about meditators and written by meditators, so to say, and do it. Just practice it and you will see it making a difference in your life. So this is the project that we have started at the hospital. We have completed about 2/3 of it, is where we have a survey at the beginning, and then we have meditation which is being done by the resident doctors at the hospital. Just about 8 to 10 minutes of meditation in the morning. It's a weekly session. There is no way that I can do this by myself. So then I trained some of the residents to do guided meditations and actually take out sessions with the others. And you always, when there is a catchy word, then people catch on pretty quickly. So I call them my meditation ambassadors. And they are the ones, the days that I am post-call, there are times that I have to work 24 hours in the neonatal ICU. So I'm exhausted and I can't do this. So this is all teamwork and it has to be done by everybody. So then they have, so initially we give a survey to them. This is the Oldenburg Burnout survey to see how burnt out we are answering these questions. And then they do the weekly sessions, and I have 3 modules. Module 1 is just I'm talking to you now. I tell them about the benefit of meditation. Then 6 weeks later is module 2, which is a reflection module, where I ask the team, how is everything going? You know, are there any obstructions to your meditating? And so we do a group discussion. And if there are obstructions, then we try to brainstorm as to how we can overcome it. And then module 3, which is at the end of the project, 3 months, is the debriefing to say how did it go and how can we make this better for the next team coming on. And so we are right now crunching the data. So far, so we have finished it with the pastoral care department and the pediatrics department. And the data is beginning to look positive so far. I'm presenting it, me and my team are presenting it at a couple of conferences in the United States. There's one in Colorado the next year. So we are talking about this meditation project. But again, we are trying to make it as scientific as possible. But this is interesting. The results are being analyzed by an industrial psychologist who absolutely has no idea who the participants are. Otherwise, the people get reluctant to think, oh my God, well, Dr. Ron is my supervisor, I am a resident. If I say that I am burnt out, I am going to be judged. So all this data is entirely anonymous. Their names are fully coded. And this is analyzed by a third-party industrial psychologist in a fully double-blinded study. So we really want to see the effects. And this is just 8 or 9 minutes. So we are pushing the envelopes. We are not even doing 12 minutes. We are doing 8 or 9 minutes of meditation once or twice a week. And we are trying to see if this data is going to be helpful or not. And now the next phase is going to start next year. And it is actually going to become even more interesting. This is as a result of a grant from the state of New York. So I was lucky enough to get this grant. And this actually also involves doing EEGs during the meditation. And this is Christian, one of my residents. This is his EEG reading to the right. And if you see, there is actually, it's a very user-friendly thing. This is called the Muse. This is what Christian is wearing right now. I have the permission from all the people whose pictures are featured here that they will be shown at this conference. So there's informed consent and permission from the people to show their pictures. But this is Christian, my resident, and he is actually listening to Dr. Madhusudan's music, who was Dr. Madhusudan is one of the organizers here at this conference, and he is an orthopedic surgeon in the UK. And he composed this beautiful, beautiful music and gave me all these pieces to use for this project. So I'm immensely grateful to the Kannada Balga organization who is actually running this talk, as well as Dr. Madhusudan for spending this time and energy in giving me these files of music. So this is beautiful original Veena music. So Christian is listening to this music, but check out the EEG on the right. This is pretty cool. Christian is, he wants to do neonatology. So he is in his 3rd year now. So this is his first day in the newborn intensive care unit. And I caught him and I said, before you start your rounds, sit in this room and I'm going to put this machine on your head. This is the Muse. Again, this is very portable and very user friendly, and it goes like this. And I'm going to ask you to meditate to this music. But see how relaxed he is. What it says here is he achieved, this was a 2-minute deep meditation. And he achieved calm for 1 minute 4 seconds, which is actually very nice. This is because he loves babies, he loves neonatology, and he feels like very much in his element, even in the chaotic newborn intensive care unit where 100 things are happening at the same time. And for 51 seconds, he could keep it neutral. So his brain activity, the disturbed thinking, was only for 5 seconds. So this shows that, okay, good, he likes neonatology, maybe he is in the right place to be in the neonatal unit. This is my other resident, her name is Thea. So Thea is a 1st year resident who just entered the NICU, first time ever. But she loves neonatology, and one of the reasons, again, she joined medicine was to be a neonatologist. I think we are very lucky at our hospital. Almost 80% of the residents who join end up going into fellowships in neonatology, which is very funny, but I guess that's what they love. So if you see Thea's brain waves out here, she is very scared being in the NICU because you can see that there are times that she is active for 44 seconds, the upper waves out here. But then the good thing is that she has a lot of determination. If you see, there are 10 recoveries, which means that she is very grounded, and she was able to understand, hey, I am stressed, and then unstress herself. She and Christian are our meditation ambassadors, and so they have been doing a little bit of meditation before. So Thea was able to recover her stress level, identify it. So she prevented her amygdala hijack just by the practice of 9 to 10 minutes of meditation. So I'm very proud of her that you can actually see that all of this I have been talking about, this 8-10 minutes of meditation, this is just not theoretical. You can actually see it at a neuroscience level very practically here. And this is Devin. She is one of the neonatal nurses. And this is also her first day in the NICU. But if you can see, she is not super excited or hyper like I get many times. She is not like into deep calm. But see, she is neutral for 2 minutes because she is an ICU nurse, but she had never done neonatal ICU. And now she is stepping into the newborn intensive care unit. So you can actually see her over here as well. So this is very practical, all of that we are doing with the meditation. And then I'm coming toward the end of my talk. Remember, we spoke about love and compassion being our most strong energy, and that is actually reflected out here. This little girl is Naomi. She was fighting for her life when she was born. Again, I have consent from the mother and from Naomi herself, who is a grown-up girl now, to show their pictures out here at this conference. So Naomi was one of the first baby cuddler, one of the first babies to be subject to our baby cuddler program, where we have volunteer cuddlers come in and just cuddle and play with these tiny premature babies. And there is so much evidence that the babies who are cuddled have a much shorter intensive care unit stay and are much better balanced as individuals, much lesser complication. So this is the neural Wi-Fi working. This is Naomi's mother, who was also critically sick when she delivered Naomi, but then she made a recovery, and this is her and her little baby. And Naomi actually was picked at Shakespeare in the Park, which is a Central Park tradition, to be one of the child actors out here. So that is Naomi out there taking a bow at Shakespeare in the Park. She is now 13 years old and one of our first babies to be cuddled. So this is the neural Wi-Fi, love, compassion, and cuddling. And now this is incredible. This is the effect of sound on meditation. This is where, again, the music, the sound actually plays a very, very deep role in meditation as well. Even at a fetal level, you can see that, when you listen to music, it makes a difference to the babies. There are times in this pandemic where the mothers couldn't see their little babies. So there was a little baby, this incident I will never forget. The mom was sick with COVID. This is last year when in New York, COVID was at its peak. This little baby was very critical in the newborn intensive care unit, and we thought that she wouldn't make it. So what I did tell the mom is, can you tell me how I can make this better? And she said, Dr. Ron, I used to sing to my little child. I used to read to her. If you could do that, maybe things will get better with her. So we called our chaplain. We have a 24/7 chaplain department. We are very grateful for that. She made a list of all the mom's songs. So she dressed in full PPE in our isolation room, sat next to this little baby, reading and singing to her everything that the mom had done when the little girl was in the womb. As I mentioned, the mom couldn't see the baby because she had strong COVID, and we didn't think this baby was going to make it. You wouldn't believe it, in about 10 hours after, the parameters started changing for this little girl. 12 hours later, her oxygen level started coming up, heart rate started improving, and a day later we knew she could make it, And the mom was able to be reunited with her baby. The mom made it as well, survived COVID. This is during this utter destruction, everything that we saw here in New York last year. But this is a real life story, just the sound, just the human touch, just the love and compassion. And this, I'm sure technology was also playing a role in making the baby recover, but I'm sure this made a difference. So again, all of whatever we say, all of this meditation, a lot of science is involved in it. I'm going to end with this quote by one of my favorite artists, Jack Kerouac. He said, because in the end, you won't remember the time you spent working in the office or mowing your lawn. Climb that goddamn mountain. And remember, the mountain is not out there. The mountain is in here. Every one of us has our mountain to climb. And it is up to us to take a deep breath and climb our own mental mountain. And this is what meditation is about. On that note, I will finish my talk about meditation, and we can do a quick, maybe a 6-minute little guided meditation. And if you wish, I can lead you into that. This will be a meditation focusing on love and compassion. And you have to bear with me for the first few seconds or so. I'm going to coordinate with Neil, who is the tech person at the other end, to see that the music comes through. This music again is produced by Dr. Madhusudan, who is a consummate musician as well and who has contributed to this. So you will be hearing Dr. Madhusudan's music, and I will be talking through it's just 6-minute meditation and a guided meditation on love and compassion. So let's do it now. So give me a few seconds here. Please stay online, and I'm going to coordinate with Neil just to make sure that the music comes through. So I'm going to go now here to share the screen, and I'm going to stop the sharing of this screen and start sharing my iTunes. And I am hoping I'm going to go here to advanced computer audio and share computer audio. So let's open up my iTunes, and I should be able to hopefully pull this up over here. So I'm going to minimize this for a second and see how we can. I'm going to exit the full screen and pull up the iTunes out here, and then hopefully we should be able to do this. So this is the music which is on right now.
It is audible.
It is audible, Neil?
It's audible
Yes,
beautifully.
it is. It is.
Madhusudan, we are good?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Okay.
can hear you now. The music
Yeah.
is coming out. Nice, thanks.
Nicely, yes. It's well
And the
said.
voiceover, thank you
Yeah.
so much. This is the first time I'm actually doing this at a formal conference, running a voiceover on this meditation. So it's a first for me as well, and a learning process. And you can hear my voice clearly, yes?
Yes.
Yes, we
Clear.
do.
All right. So let's start the meditation. It'll be about 6 minutes. And
1 minute, Neil. Can I request all the attendees to open up the videos, please, so that Nitin is able to see them and interact? Is that okay with Nitin?
Yes, as many of you feel comfortable to open it, that's fine. Beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Madhusudan. Appreciate that. So sit comfortably in a relaxed position and close your eyes. If your legs are crossed, if your hands are crossed, uncross them in an open posture. Once you close your eyes, notice how your concentration shifts inwards. Take a deep breath and exhale. Another deep breath and exhale. As you breathe in, feel this beautiful positive energy coming into you. And as you breathe out your stress. Couple more deep breaths. Breathing in this beautiful positivity. And breathing out the stress. Few more deep breaths. If your mind wanders, let it wander. And then come back to the breathing. Few more deep breaths. Breathing in positivity and breathing out the stress. Staying relaxed. As you breathe in and breathe out, feel this gap between your breaths. Notice this tiny gap between breathing in and breathing out. And in this gap, remember, this is the space which gives you the power to respond back to the stress. We cannot control the world. We cannot control what happens to us. But how we respond back to it is totally under our control. As you breathe, feel this space and feel that you have the power to respond back with love and compassion to everything that is happening around you. Couple more deep breaths. Breathing in the positivity. Feeling relaxed. And as you are breathing, remember this intention, which we will carry through us through the day and through the next several days, that if anything happens around me, I have the power to respond back with understanding, love, and compassion. Keep this intention in your heart. Couple more deep, relaxed breaths. Breathing in the positivity. Slowly bring our awareness back to what is happening around us, keeping the intention in mind that though we cannot control the world, we can control our response. Let us respond with love, compassion, and understanding. Slowly open your eyes. Come back to where we are. Tweak your limbs a little bit to get back the muscle control. And be present in this beautiful moment again. And on that note, I end my talk and I end this meditation. And we'll open it up for questions and answers. I'm going to pause the music. And back again.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Nitinji, and thank you, everyone. I think it was mesmerizingly. I'm just coming up from that. It was solid. It was taken away to a different state of mind, and let everyone recover from that meditation. If you have any questions, and it will be both for Dr. Pralajji and Dr. Nitinji. We will open the forum here. So if you raise your hand, okay, I got that one raised hand. We'll keep it. And then Sheila, if you could start asking the question to.
It's not so much a question. I just want to thank you, Dr. Ron. And it's a blessing and pressure to meet your father. You exude love and compassion wherever you go. And I want to thank you for that. And I hope to emulate you both and do what you do in the love and the compassion that we share with our patients in the hospital. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Sheila. Sheila is one of our senior nurses in our labor and delivery room, and she herself is a beautiful person inside and out, very kind, compassionate, and I have seen the mothers relaxing so much when Sheila is next to them delivering the baby. Thank you very much, Sheila. Appreciate that.
Nitin, if you can stop sharing the computer sound, it will be a lot better.
Done. Thank you.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions? So
Dr. Sneha Kulkarni is raising her hand.
Okay, then yeah, Dr. Sneha Kulkarni, can you please unmute yourself and yeah.
Thank you, Nitinji. I'm not normally lost for words, but at the moment, I've gone completely blank. It's been so good. I just don't know where I am. I wish I had learned this earlier, much earlier. Would have been much better. But it's been brilliant. It just, it is mesmerizing, like Neil said. I mean, no words. No, it's fantastic. I would rather have you keep coming back and giving us these sessions more and more. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of people. Those who haven't attended have lost a lot today. Both the sessions, Pralaji and yourself, it's been absolutely fantastic. Wish you all come. And I invite you personally, yes, please do come back again. And we'll have you anytime. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I see several. Let me go to Vivek Jowli. Please ask your or say.
Nitin, thank you for this session. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. My question is that in a busy schedule like yours and mine, how often in a week one should meditate? And if we are meditating every day, to maximize its benefit, at least how many minutes?
Thank you, Dr. Javli, for the question. For those who don't know, Dr. Javli is a very well-known cardiothoracic surgeon, and he's chairman on the board of directors of the Fortis Group of Hospitals. And it's a very good question, because the funny thing, Dr. Javli, is I try not to even give time frames to my mind. The mind is a monkey. So the moment you tell your head, hey, I'm going to meditate for 12 minutes, 14 minutes. The moment I get up that much later and I look at my watch and I say, oof, it's only 6 minutes remaining, I will not meditate. So the best thing is to, even as much time as you have, you can begin the meditation. And I would love to put forth the picture that, oh, I am this great meditator who does it regularly. Believe me, I'm not. There are times when I have been on call 24 hours, I come home, and all I want to do is go sleep. But even the next day, if I am in the outpatient clinic, we have a high-risk clinic where we see these tiny premature babies growing up, and the mummies get the little babies to me to get examined. Even if I have 1 minute between two babies, between two appointments, I can 1 minute hourglass with me. This is a little hourglass which is available at 50 cents on Amazon.com. I turn it around, take deep breaths, and watch the sand fall through this hourglass just for a minute. And just take deep breaths. Even that 1 minute makes me much more grounded and much more receptive to the even if I've been stressed. So as much time as possible as you can. If you have 10 minutes, yes. If you have 20 minutes, yes. The Dalai Lama said it very nicely. He said that if you're busy, meditate. If you think you're too busy, meditate even more. And that's really what it is about. So any time that you have, I think you can grab and do a quick meditation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joliji. Shall we go to Farhan, Nadia Farhan?
Hello.
Hello.
We just wanted to say that we really enjoyed this session. We really loved all the information, and I think the meditation session was absolutely amazing. I myself feel regenerated, and I know that I'm going to have an amazing day just because my day started like this.
Yeah, good morning, guys. We don't have any specific questions. It's still a little bit early for us, so we're still waking up and processing. But even though we're not also in like the hospital environments, we have like a lot of stress in general, like you guys are saying. And I think just like reminding us, these gentle reminders of how important this meditation is just really going to serve us really well, even just this week and as the new year is coming through. So thanks again. We really enjoyed this.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Let me go to Madhusudan. Madhusudanji.
And in order, Neil, Madhusudan, and then PJ Ewing has raised his hand, so we could have him talk, and then Poonam.
Okay, yeah. There are three. Okay, let's go to Madhusudan.
Nitin, thank you very much for asking me to do my bit for this program. I really loved it, right? That's one thing. Secondly, your study is about meditation and music. That is what you have started now. Have you isolated the two components? There are two components here. One is meditation on its own. Second is meditation with music. Have you found any difference between the two?
Actually, we haven't started this yet because this is the pilot, what I showed with the residents meditating, because we got the music and you were kind enough to give it to me a couple weeks ago. So this right now, for the music part of it, we have already started the pilot study. That's why you saw my meditation ambassadors volunteering to sit listening to the music. And we will be formally starting it next year, early next year. And I will be very happy actually to brainstorm with you, Dr. Madhusudan, and the team, and anybody who wants to. This is all about collaboration. This is all about, and this is not restricted to medicine and to doctors. Anybody has any ideas at all on this, how I can make this better, please, please, please tell me. But definitely I'm open to suggestions, open to ideas, but this is something we will be incorporating in the future. And definitely we will be trying to do a stratified analysis. And we have a couple of research chiefs at our lab who will hopefully make the study good. But I'm open to suggestions and ideas on that.
Thank you. The reason I'm asking is ancient Indian instruments, because your dad and yourself, you're talking about the chakras and the way the prana goes through the various levels, so the spinal activation centers. Now, that is very scientifically explained in most of the Indian instruments. The veena, which I have used in this clipping, is very, very scientifically constructed, very much like a human anatomical body. And therefore, the prana goes through the various levels of Muladhara chakra, going up to the Sahasrara. That is the reason probably even Indian music, even the one I played here is the Saraswati Veena, which is the ancient, very ancient form of veena, is by in itself is a stringed instrument. And I don't think there is anything that is described before this. Probably 1600 BC is where you find the scriptures of this particular instrument being described in the Vedas. That is why, because Goddess Saraswati holds it in her hand, it is called the Saraswati Veena. Right? If you have various forms of it. Description of this is beyond the scope of this particular forum, so I will restrict my talk only up to this. But anyway, thank you very much for asking me to do this. Thank you.
Yeah, Madhusudan, thank you for the great contribution. It was soothing. Like I wouldn't say that I was just mesmerized. I was just calming down. Thank you. So we're gonna go to PJ Ewing.
Hi. Good morning. Really wonderful. Question for you. Have you looked at, or have there been done cortisol tests as part of this kind of analysis to look at stress levels? I know there are lots of different forms, saliva, blood, et cetera, but I'm wondering if that is obviously more complicated, but a way to start to evaluate the effect of meditation. Maybe at the moment that might be difficult, but maybe over time, over days or weeks, to look at that. I'm just curious about that.
Thank you so much, PJ, for the question. And for those of you who don't know, PJ is actually the founder of an incredible podcast which is internationally renowned on music, and he's a very, very consummate musician in a way, but much more than that, he's a beautiful interactor, if you will, with people with music. So his podcast is interesting, and he's an international figure, and we're very grateful for PJ to be onto this forum here right now. Thank you, PJ. So yes, answering your question, the cortisol levels, dopamine levels, as well as serotonin levels have been studied through meditation and through music. However, all the trials which have been done now have been at a very basic, and a lot of them, if we actually scientifically analyze the papers, have been not very well controlled. So what I am excited about this project is that it's an immensely scientific, double-blinded, controlled study, and that is a great suggestion. I'm going to reapply for the grant for more money, because this is all helping people, and I think the state of New York realized it. This is actually one of few grants which has been given for meditation. That is not something which elicits grants from the government, and hopefully we can get there as well. But thank you so much. That's a great suggestion, and definitely something to keep in mind in the future. Appreciate that input.
Thank you, PJ. Let's move on. If you don't have any other questions or follow-up questions.
I think Poonam Mehra had.
Yeah, I'm going to Poonam Mehra. Poonam, please.
Yeah, thank you, Nitin. It's midnight over here in Melbourne, Australia. I've connected just to say hello to Uncle. And it was very interesting. My question is, guided meditation with music was first time I've gone through that, and it was just beautiful. I felt it finished very early, that 6 minutes, or it felt just like 2 minutes for me. I have tried meditation guided, just guided with no music, and I've tried just with music. The guided keeps me focused. The music allows me, it just doesn't let me focus. I wanted to know from you, is this something you found that with music guiding together makes it better? Or which one? Like, this is the third aspect and new for me, but it was fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you for that question, Poonam. Poonam is my childhood friend. I'm actually seeing her face after like 30 years right now. I still remember my dad used to tell stories when we were 1 year old to Poonam and me when we were growing up. And then she moved to Australia, and it's super cool to see you here. As I told you, the Zoom, yes, we have lost the human component, but it is so incredible that at least it is bringing, I mean, you're in Australia. I have people right now in the European Union listening as well, apart from the UK as well. So this is the cool part about it. So yes, it depends on the personality. There are some personalities who would just like just the sound of a soft voice. There are some who are okay with it out, both of them, and there are some who would require chanting and meditation. So all these are different rivers flowing into the ocean. The interesting thing is the Buddha said that even his method of meditation, he said, this is just a suggestion. Go out there, experiment, try what works for you, and ultimately when you figure out what helps you focus the best, use that method. So it is never pushing one or the other. But having said that, we just spoke a little bit about the neuroscience of music. Music does help in it. So I'm very happy you gave me the feedback that it was helpful in this case, music with a soft guiding, because this is something new to me as well. So we have to keep playing with it. There is no single meditation which is going to work for a single person. We have to play with it. It's self-compassion. We have to love ourselves enough to try to play with different methods and see what works for us.
Thank you, Nitinji. Any other questions? Anyone has anything to ask? Well, we are 8. Okay, is anyone? Madhusudan? Is that?
Yeah, well, if I can ask a question to Dr. Javli here, because Dr. Javli is a renowned cardiac surgeon in Bangalore. Hi. Welcome, sir. Part of the Kannada. On behalf of Kannada Balaga, I would like to welcome you to this meeting. I know you've been there ever since Nitin started. And with Nitin's permission, if I can ask him, have you found, I know you're a renowned cardiologist, have you operated or have you come across persons who are renowned or who are known for their skills in meditation? Have you found any difference in the way when you operate on them or when you interact with them? Have you found any difference in the way you control their symptoms and when you control their operation, or do they recover quicker?
Thank you. I wouldn't know if they were meditating or not, but I would gather that all the yogis, people who were godly people, who were preachers, who were godmen, priests, and the people who were practicing yoga avidly, I guess many of them must be practicing yoga, and they were distinctly different in their composure and in their recovery after surgery. Of course, infections, sepsis, organ rearrangements can happen to anybody. But if somebody is positive, calm, and composed, the pain perception, heart rates, catecholamine surges are all pretty well controlled. So my answer is yes, there is a difference. We have never gone into this, but I get an idea now that it can be a good subject for a paper. And from my vast clinical experience, I can say that there is a difference.
Thank you. Because the reason I'm asking is my brother is a cardiac surgeon and he knows you very well in Bangalore. So when I asked him about this question, he wouldn't come out with an answer because I don't know what his experiences were. So I thought I'll put this question across to you. Thank you.
I think Mr. Thirumaleshwar has a question.
Okay, Thirumaleshwar, please.
You can unmute yourself, Thirumaleshwar uncle.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yes, now we can hear you.
Dr. Ron?
Yes.
First of all, I have got my special thanks to you for encouraging me, cajoling me to participate in this Zoom. So I just was wondering whether I have participated or not, because I do not know how to operate Zoom. Now, I have got one brief question. I have read earlier in one of the talks of J. Krishnamurti that your entire past is condensed into your brain cells. And he has always been saying that you should unload, unburden your past. And he has also said that the brain cells themselves change when this happens. Number one. Number two, Paramahamsa Yogananda has said that you can, by his own technique, whatever breathing techniques, Kriya Yoga or whatever, can accelerate the evolution of man. So this is the question about the brain cells, changing the brain cells themselves. Does it match with your medical research? This is my question.
Thank you for the question. And again, Thirumaleshwar uncle, I'm hearing his voice after 35 years. He is my childhood dad's colleague from the Atomic Research Center. And thank you for attending, uncle. So yes, so it's a great question. And the main thing always is, yes, the past comes into the present. So even I'm looking at you, I'm interacting, we are not able to be present in this beautiful moment because the past keeps jumping into the present and interfering with it and stopping our enjoyment. But you know, the most incredible thing is that all this past is acquired. It sits in the brain, but you can overcome it. And I will give you an example. Now, this is a secret, and you will, once you finish this, you will be able to know the reason, and very few people know what I'm going to tell you. See, whenever you see a little baby, right, you go in and you pat the baby's head, and then suddenly your voice changes and you say, "Ooh, how sweet," and then your pitch becomes high when you're like playing with a little baby. And do you know why that is? The reason is, as a fetus is inside the womb, whenever a fetus hears the voices outside, the voice passes through the air, then it passes through the mother's skin, her uterine wall, amniotic fluid, and then hits the baby's ears. So the pitch becomes much higher. But look at our brain, how cool it is. This is what tells us that we really are loving, compassionate beings. You look at this little baby, or a little puppy for that matter, right? And the primitive part of your brain automatically gives the message, you are a loving person, you are a kind person, make this baby feel comfortable. And boom, the pitch of our voice changes, and our whole voice and our whole personality changes as we are holding and playing and talking to this baby. So it's incredible, and this is all unconscious. So this is what makes it very incredible, that we really are born with love, compassion, and peace. Our conditioning takes us away from it. Our past comes in. People look at me and say, yes, but what of this love, compassion? You walk on Wall Street with this love and compassion message and you will be eaten up alive. The answer is yes. But having said that, you know, we see life and death every day in the newborn ICU. And then where you have this balance of mind, I will tell you, it will increase your productivity. It will increase your capability to make the right decisions, whether you are in an intensive care unit, whether you are on Wall Street, whether you are an artist, or whether you are in any walk of life. So this still helps, you know. So I hope that it's a very intricate answer to your question, but this only partially answers it, that yes, the neurons definitely have the capability, and we already are happy. We already are enlightened beings. but our conditioning takes us away from it, and meditation helps us to decondition.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Ranji. Can we go to Vivek Javli?
Hi. This is not a question, but I heard the mention of Dr. J. Krishnamurti, and I was reminded of something J. Krishnamurti said in one of his lectures, which I made into a poster and put in my office. It was amusing, but at the same time very profound. He said, the cup is not only the shape or the form, but also the emptiness held within it. Without that emptiness, there will be neither the shape, nor the form, nor the cup. And it's really applicable.
No, that's wonderful. That's really wonderful. Dr. Nitinji?
Yes, I totally agree. Sometimes, the most incredible and powerful way of communication, sometimes, most of the time, the default is through silence. We are all talking beings, especially in the West. We feel, I guess, everywhere, if this person is a talker, like I have been talking now for the last straight 1 hour, is, oh, this person must be good because he is talking. But, and this is the perception which exists out there. But sometimes we really don't need that. One of the most beautiful ways of communicating I have with a mother with a critically sick baby is just not to say anything, just to sit next to her, just to hold her hands, look into her eyes, and just be present with her to understand what she is going through. I don't even need words for that. So you are absolutely right, Dr. Javli. Sometimes the most beautiful communication and understanding with ourselves and with others can be through the medium of just silence, just not filling it up with any meaning. Thank you for that input.
Now we are going to Sheila. Please, Sheila.
You pretty much answered my question, Dr. Ron, but I just wanted to add to it the power of touch. With the cuddling, when I'm with my moms, helping them through what they're going through. There are times when some of them need to go under anesthesia, and I could see even before they receive any type of anesthesia, just by holding their hand, or if someone asks me to pray with them when they're going through, you can actually see their vital signs change and they become more stable. And thank you for that, because learning from you and sharing it with everybody is making things so much better in the medical field.
Thank you, Sheila.
Thank you. Anyone has any questions? Right. Thank you. I think it's let's go to vote of thanks, Auntie. Is anyone has any? Madhusudan, any questions?
No, I have nothing. Actually. Okay. Anyway, thank you very much, Nitin. This was fantastic. And I will ask Neil to continue with the vote of thanks.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, thanks, Madhusudan. Let's go to vote of thanks. So 2 for 1, actually. It's Nitin as well as Praladji, taken us to a different state of mind. One is using pranayama, and other one is meditation, and all that information that's shared around to across the Kannada Balaga UK, and all the friends that we attended today. Really wonderful, and I special thanks to Nitinji. So even though it is early morning over there, and also there are people who joined from Melbourne, and probably Ash is going to be going on, I suppose. So that's another story we can talk about that. But people attended across the world to this program, the workshop. It's all happened because of 2 great individuals. One is Praladji, another is Nitin, Dr. Nitin. I sincerely thank on behalf of Kannada Balaga UK, as well as EC. We have a committee, executive committee, and on behalf of Dr. Girish Vashista, Dr. Madhusudan, Sneha Kulkarni, the president, and I forgot to say a few names, but Praveen. Yes, sorry about Praveen. So I didn't get you right there. So everyone from EC organizing this and making this workshop happen. And it was wonderful to see the meditation part of it. We've been going through several last 3 weeks with pranayama exercises. I think it made us conscious about the breathing in, breathing out, and other benefits in it. Actually, when I went through, I think everyone, I suppose, went through your meditation, that 6 minutes literally taken away from us, and it gone to such a such a silent, such a beautiful experience. I still, it's still lingering with me. I can't come out from it. So on that note, thank you. And also I have to thank the helpers from support from Praladji, from his side, because there are Naresh and his team is helping them in India, trying to make sure that this is a fault less, and it went through soothingly nice, wonderful. My next thank you to everyone who attended this, and especially the friends of Nitin, and also Kannada Balaga UK, and everyone from the world. And thank you. And we also have a 4th workshop you would like to attend next week, same time at 11 o'clock, which is on, let me tell you at this moment in time, 19th of December at 11 o'clock UK time. Please attend, please come, and let's celebrate pranayama and meditation. Thank you. Appreciate it. See you again.
Thank you so much.